The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry in Underdog Pick'em. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by the Mega Memorial Merch Sale. 15% off everything in the SGPN merch store with promo code SGPN May. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And it has been, I mean, the Celtics have to be one of the most paper Eastern Conference champions I have ever seen. I mean, this is absolutely absurd here. I don't even understand it. I mean, I really don't. But here we are. They have gotten game after game after game, and they just blown it. They find ways to the Pacers have found ways to blow leads in this series. However, somehow, some way, I am 2-1 on my ATS bets in this series. So, I'm complaining, but I'm not complaining too much. I'm still making money. If you've been laying the chalk with Boston, then you have not up to this place, even though Boston is up 3-0. It is Monday and Memorial Day, and I have the nerd Lonte Smith. Lonte, what's going on?
Man, not bad, man. It's a good game last night. Yeah, it was really good game last night. And these games have been fun too. Outside of the Pacers, kind of throwing up on themselves in the end. But yeah, doing good. Ready to get into it today. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm so the Jaylen Brown Eastern Conference Finals since the last time I talked about this series. I really haven't talked about this series actually, now that I think about it. Maybe some of our listeners come in. I haven't seen this. Skrillers, what's going on? I haven't been on mostly to talk about this too many times, but somehow, some way, the Jason Tatum agenda is still thriving and going strong. And I just believe Jaylen Brown's not getting the credit he deserves. But you know what? When you have two 36-point games in the Eastern Conference Finals, you're probably going to win Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So we'll see what Jaylen Brown does tonight. That's going to lead me to a player prop that we got to talk about later. But as of now, before we get to the game, I got to talk to you about the college baseball tournament. Starts Friday, and Noah Beanick has you covered with college baseball experience, daily picks, regional picks, and more. Plus, we're still running the Mega Memorial Merch Day sale. If you go and get 15% off the merch store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com, you get some NBA, WNBA Gambling Podcast gear. We are running that Mega Memorial Day merch sale, 15% off everything in the merch store. All right. Here we go. Game is up tonight, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Boston Celtics go into Indiana with a 3-game lead, 3-0. Indiana catching 7.5 at home, 222.5 is the total. Injury report here, and for the Boston Celtics, Drew Holiday did participate in shoot around today. He is questionable with an illness. So you have Drew Holiday, who is questionable. You have Kristaps Porzingis, who is still out. I believe they realized that they didn't need him this series. This could be a coaching blunder on this coaching staff. It could be. We're going to see what happens next series. If it is the next series, because we got to admit, there's still a possibility that the Pacers get this done. Is it likely? Is anybody out here forecasting it? No. If somebody is out here forecasting it, they're either a diehard Pacers fan, they were born in Indiana, or they're actually complete idiots because this is a 3-0 series. We haven't seen this done yet. However, it's not impossible. Don't let me be the bearer of bad news. Luke Cornett's questionable as well with that wrist injury. And for the Indiana Pacers, we have Tyrese Halliburton, who is technically questionable with that hamstring injury, but I don't think anybody is expecting Tyrese Halliburton to suit up today. All right, Lonte, what are you doing here with the Boston Celtics, who have played down the competition? However, they're still somehow 3-0 in this series. They're laying 7.5 tonight.
Yeah, I like Indiana tonight. The trifecta, first quarter, first half, full game. I think they'll come out and get a win. Boston has been better in closeout games as they progress, but I still think that Indiana has the ability to make this. I mean, obviously, all three games have been competitive, even though the second game, he kind of pulled the starters earlier. I mean, it was only a like 11, 12-point game in that fourth quarter. So I would like to think that they shoot a lot better. They were 5 for 28 from deep in the last game. Boston hit 16 threes. So that was pretty much the difference right there. And they still were a Drew Holiday steal and an Andrew Nembhard miss prior to that away from, winning this game. And that was their second lowest 3-point percentage at home this postseason. I think they'll be able to be better here. I do think that Neesmith needs to play better. I know he's doing a lot on the defensive end with Tatum and sometimes Brown, but got to get a little bit more from him, especially with Halliburton out. The turnovers also have been an issue for Indiana. They're up from 11.6 per 100 possessions in the first two rounds to 16.3 in this series. And I think the thing is with turnovers is you can turn the ball over. It's just when you turn it over is the most detrimental part of it. And I think Indiana has I guess the worst luck of turnovers in certain situations. I mean, you could think about the Halliburton one. Actually he had two. If you count the inbound pass and then him dribbling off his leg. So those two, and then you got the steal from Drew Holiday. So I think if they can limit those and go back to what they have in the first round, they'll be they'll be pretty much they'll be pretty much locked in this game. So I like Indiana, man. I think they come out on fire. They struggled in that second half, 42 combined points in that second half. And they scored 38 in the second quarter. So that just goes to show you they just weren't on. But yeah, man, I like Indiana to get it done here and take the series back to Boston.
Kevin Durant and the Nets. That is the last time that Boston has swept the series. Kevin Durant and the Nets. Yeah, I mean, I'm not picking them to do it. I mean, come on now. What kind of gimmick is that? There's not even a gimmick if I sit here and I pick the Celtics in this game. But there's a number of ways they could get this done. Miles Turner can have an electric, all-world type of game, and this is just an area that the Celtics have not been able to defend, or they've chosen not to be able to defend, which is the points on the inside and just letting them cook. So I think Miles Turner is still going to have a really good game here. They haven't really found an answer for TJ McConnell yet, and it's so funny because all the TJ McConnell, Andrew Nembhard, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam kind of gets busy in there a little bit, but it's just like there's all these options, and yet they can never play 4 quarters. Like they can never have somebody going crazy all 4 quarters and to be able to finish this game out. And so, however, this is Boston, this is Joe Mazzulla, and I'm telling you, this is the opportunity where I sit here and say that they go out here and they just nut up. Like that's it. Like they just nut this game away. I don't really understand it. I don't understand why this game has been close 2 times in this series, even once in Boston. I also equally don't understand how the Pacers are not up 2-1 right now. Like if this was ever a bad beat on my Pacers lead after 3 games 2-1, this is a horrible beat on it because it was 2 games that they clearly should have won. Clearly should have won, even without Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, I don't know how anybody can bet on a team like that. I'm not betting on the Celtics. I could not. I blindly fading them 2-1. I'm just gonna blindly fade them again. Blindly fade them one more time. Celtics do not get this done. Plus 7.5, and of course, sprinkling on the money line. Of course, I'll probably do that with a Miles Turner parlay or something like that. All right, totals at 222.5. Lonte, what do you like here?
Yeah, I'm going over, man. I mean, I just think that they haven't adjusted enough. Even with Tyrese out, you saw that the pace was still there, and even
Mhm.
going, 5 of 28 from three, they still have and scoring 42 total in the second half. It still went over. Um, I don't think that I don't think that both teams will be able to get stops. I think we'll see a free flowing pace like we've seen in the prior 3 games. Now, obviously, Boston's going to go to the free throw line. I think they're plus 12, plus 13 free throws last game. So I mean, they're gonna score with the shot clock. I mean, with the clock stop. I see all different types of paths to get over this number. I think both teams play in the high 110, so I like the over pretty much in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go against the over. Um, if I had a play, yeah, it's still got to be over. I think the only way I would fade it is I would fade it and maybe consider Celtics team total under and just say they automatically just like they just feel like they don't even have to compete in this game. They don't even try. And just send it back, close out game on Boston, and prove that would be the most Celtics thing ever for them to lose this game just so they could prove that they can win on their home floor again and go win and close out in Boston. That would be so frustrating. That would be so frustrating if this team just sat here and said, you know what, we're gonna give up this easy game four just so we can go back home and prove to you that we can close out on our home floor before the NBA finals, that we don't have any quote unquote holes, yet somehow you have almost lost 2 games in this series and people aren't going to talk about it because you ultimately ended up winning and you're looking like you're going to complete sweep. But this was not a good series. This was not a good series. That was a horrible game last game. At the end of the day, no matter how you spin it, that was a horrible game last game and you only woke up in the second half. Yeah, I'll still take the over. 222.5. All right. Before we get to player props and the rest of our lock dog and underdog lineup segment, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy because they are the easiest place to play fantasy pick'em. And you can go out there, do higher, lower on their players' stats, points, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, and assists, not points, assists, and rebounds. You know, some other people like to think of that points, assists, and rebounds. No, man, we are the realist here. We talk about it. So make sure you get down on the points, rebounds, and assists for Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your money. It's available in 30 states, California, Texas, even Canada, and Florida. They just launched their champions, their player versus player format in Florida. So make sure you tap in with promo code NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code NBA SGPN. All right, I'll kick off the player prop segment here because the center position, as I talked about, not only this series, not only last series, not only these playoffs, not only this regular season, but also the years prior. And it's been still a profitable system where you just fade the C's against the C's because they don't even try. They really don't even try. They say we don't care about the center position. We're guarding everybody else. And so Miles Turner, 17.5 points. I'm taking the over there. I think Miles Turner is going to have yet again another really solid game. I would actually take him up to the 20. I think he is going to get to 20 again today. And that's just another opportunity. He had 23 in game one. He had 22 in game two. And I think that they make this another competitive game. So give me Miles Turner over 17.5 points, 20 plus for a little plus money. I like that play as well. What's the prop for you?
Yeah, I like Derek White. I like Miles Turner too. He was one of the guys that I was looking towards as well. But you just gave it out. I completely agree with that. I like Derek White over 25 and a half PRA. He's over in 2 of 3 this series, averaging like 12.3 rebounds and assists alone. And he hasn't been shooting it well from the field. He's had some wide open looks that he's missed. I know he's guarding multiple guys, and that might be taken away from his scoring prowess. But I mean, he scored 20 plus in 4 of his first 5 playoff games, but only scored over 20 once in his last 7. So I think that comes back to Pat here. I think he has a 25, 26-point game, and then he can pretty much go over this number without the rebounds and assists. But just in case he doesn't, we can still get 16, 17 points and go over this number because I think he'll have a good floor game as well. So I like Derek White over 25 and a half PRA.
I am playing Jaylen Brown over 25.5 points, and I'm laddering him up to 35 at plus 650 or higher, wherever you may get the line. And the reasoning is simple. Jaylen Brown wants a Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The team might be inclined to give him one because Tatum has one already. He got the first one, pretty sure. And so, I mean, why not? Why not give Jaylen Brown that opportunity? Tatum's had two 36-point games. Brown has had a 40-point game. He's going to need another big game. If he has another 40-point game, I think he's in the running. And it's a closeout game, 40 points in a closeout game. I think that the voters bias and who you saw last, because you saw Jason Tatum in the first game, you saw Jaylen Brown in the second game, you saw Tatum in the third game, you potentially could see Brown in the fourth game here. It could honestly be just like, we talk about in the NBA and who's got the ball last, not the NBA and the NFL. In the NFL, and who's got the ball last, that's going to be the person to score the touchdown and win. It could be the Jaylen Brown effect with he was the last person to have the big game. So that's the one that they're going to give the Eastern Conference Finals MVP to. And if you add into the fact that Jaylen Brown has a big game and they absolutely dominate the Pacers and it's not even close. In both of Tatum's big games, they had to come back and get the win. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's pause for Tatum, and maybe that hey, when they needed him, he was there, or it could be Jaylen Brown has a big game and it's not even close. So Jaylen Brown being plus 550 in the beginning of this series at Eastern Conference Finals MVP was just a value play, and this feels really good for that value. It feels good for me, honestly, Lonte, because I can either cash a plus 550 with Jaylen Brown tonight, or I can cash plus 235 with the Pacers, or they can actually, like, Jason Tatum can have a good game and he can make me not cash anything. But I don't trust Jason Tatum enough. So I'm all right with that. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, then we're just going to go ahead and get into our lock dog lineup. Let's see here. And an underdog lineup. Yes. But so for lock and dog, for my lock, I'm either going Tatum or Turner. Honestly, this is going to be some combination of Tatum and Turner. I'm just trying to figure out, not Tatum, but Brown and Turner. I'm just trying to figure out what combination I would like to be. We're going to go Miles Turner over 17.5 points. A lock. Start your centers against the Celtics. Come on, guys. We don't have to think about this too much. And for my dog, we're going to go Jaylen Brown, 30 plus points, plus 220. Come on. I want to hear the MVP praise. I want to hear the MVP praise by the end of this. So Miles Turner over 17.5 points. That is my lock for my dog, Jaylen Brown, 30 plus points, plus 220.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the lock. I'm gonna go with the Pacers in the first quarter plus 130 is the best I see, plus 130. So don't even take the points. I think they win it convincingly in that first quarter. I think Boston will come out a little bit flat after that comeback victory. So plus 130 is going to be the lock for sure. And for the dog, I was gonna go with the full game, which I'll be on in the first half, but I'm gonna go with Pascal Siakam to score 30 plus. That is plus 370.
Ooh.
So I
I,
think
I
Pascal has
see
a
the
big game.
angle. I see the angle here. Hold on.
Yeah.
So what happens if we put Jaylen Brown plus Pascal Siakam, and that's both to score 30 plus points? That's plus 976. I mean, about 10 to 1 odds, a little bit less, $25, $24 less. So we're about there. Maybe you got a profit boost or something like that, and that'll boost that up double digits. But I like that play. I do like Pascal Siakam tonight as well.
Yeah, shout out to somebody in the chat over the weekend was giving out Siakam 8+ assists for like a crazy number, and it almost hit. I forgot who it was, but yeah, I think he had 6 or 7. So yeah, that almost hit.
Shout out to him.
I forgot who it
All right.
was, so I apologize to them.
All right. Let's drop an underdog lineup real quick. We can throw Pascal Siakam in there, higher 23.5 points.
Yeah,
We can throw Miles Turner in there,
yeah.
higher 17.5 points. We both like that play. What's the third play?
I mean, if you like Jaylen Brown, I mean, I'm not opposed to Jaylen Brown either.
Oh, you like Brown too? We keep it that simple. We just recycle the picks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like Jaylen Brown.
All right, it's that easy, people. It's just sometimes that easy. And honestly, I think this is script proof. I think this happens, and either we are going back to Boston or we're going back to Boston in a week. I guess. I don't know, but
Indiana
well,
got some added motivation. Did you hear about that?
what was that?
So basically, I was reading an article with Bon Temps on ESPN, and apparently the NBA was making preparations for the trophy presentation for today. I
What?
think so it got around to the staff of Indiana, and so Carlisle's quote, he said, this is his direct quote: "That's something that should make our players' blood boil and our fans' blood boil. It's just another layer of motivation to extend the series. So that's a little bit added motivation for Indiana. So that's another reason why I like that side."
Yeah, golly. I I'm just saying, everybody telling me how much a lot Boston is to win tonight, and I'm just saying, I've seen this story before. I really have. Pascal Siakam higher, 23.5 points. Miles Turner higher, 17.5 points. Jalen Brown higher, 25.5 points. You add that into underdog, and you're gonna get a underdog entry with 6x your money. $100 gets you $600. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN for a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250. All right, lots of anything else for people before we get up out of here.
That's it, man. Best of luck to everybody.
All right. And wait, no, we can't get out of here. We're not done yet. First, I got to talk to you about Rhythm. Rhythm, if you're betting NBA player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to bet your money in seconds. Predictions are backed with over 3 years of data and a team of data scientists. You can place your bets, DFS picks, doesn't matter. Start a 7-day free trial starting with your NBA player props with Rhythm wherever you get your apps. And I got to go and make myself a rhythm parlay for the day as well. I got to add that to the people before we get out of here. They need an additional parlay because this could be the last game in the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's see here. What picks does Rhythm? Sam Hauser over 1.5 threes.
Oh
Rhythm
my
predicts
god.
2. He might be out. He might be out there because the Celtics might blow this game and they might just
I've been
shot the
betting him
second
every
strings out
game,
there.
getting killed.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's add that to the Rhythm. I like that play. Let's add that to the Rhythm parlay. So we got Hauser over 1.5 threes
What about
plus
Toppin?
money.
Points and rebounds.
I don't see topping up here. Don't
I
see
like,
topping up
I like
here.
Toppin.
I do have Andrew Nemhart, and I am with that. I am with fading Andrew Nemhart today. He had 30 points last game. If somebody else saves this team, it's not going to be Andrew Nemhart. It's
Yeah, I
going to be
think
Pascal
Neesmith has a good
Siakam.
game.
It might be Neesmith. Like, it's not going to be Nemhart. Nemhart had his moment and it didn't work. So Nemhart, that was also another big rhythm play. So 2 top rhythm plays today. Andrew Nemhart under 16.5 points. They predict him for 9. And Sam Hauser over 2.5 3-pointers made. They predict him for 2.2. All right. Make sure you use that. Make sure you go and start that 7-day free trial with Rhythm for your NBA player props. All right. Now, anything else to say here, Lonte, before we get up out of
Nah,
here?
that's it, man. We pretty much locked it up.
All right. It was a nice quick episode for the people. We're not gonna talk to you. We had one game. We just got you the picks, got you the money, and we get up out of here. So yes, David, there is a WNBA episode tonight. We will be going maybe 8, 9-ish Eastern, something like that. But we will definitely be having a WNBA episode for tonight. So other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else. Do no other way of ending the podcast. We're just gonna end like this. We the ones. We out of here.